Welcome in, everybody. It is Daniel from Manic Actz, and I am coming to you with our 2026 goal sheet. Where this is stemming from is I watched a creator put this out there earlier, talking about where they are, and substantially, this is something that just keeps me honest. Where I want to be and what I want to see as far as the low end, outside of full time work schedule. And I blew my 2025 goals that I didn't even write down out of the water, because I didn't even think that this channel was going to be what it was going to be. I put my mind to it. I put a lot of effort and energy into it, and I do appreciate y'all following along and being there for the ride. So, without further ado, here's our 2026 goals. So the first ones on the left-hand side are going to be our social media goals. That's going to be YouTube, Patreon, which we just started, TikTok, that's the purple octopus, TikTok, the blue octopus, Instagram, and whatnot. Now, mind you, the blue octopus is going to be more of our clothing and our designs, but the purple one is going to be our generative card and lifestyle content that we put out, regarding our wrestling card business. And kind of just the overall aspect of everything. So right now we're sitting at about 60 YouTube subscribers. We are going to goal ourselves extremely high at 500. Now, all these goals are going to be extremely high. So I'm going to reach for the stars this year and see where I can go because of the effort and energy I've put in the last few months and watch where these things have gone. So, these may be 3, 5, 700% goals, but what I've seen in the last 2 months is that these goals have been met by all the things that I've been doing. So that's why we're going for the strenuous YouTube one. Now, Patreon, we just started. So we're going to go for 100 Patreon members. Now, we are putting out a lot of free content. We are going to transform it into monetization, but we're going to put out so much free stuff, words and reviews and things like that, you guys just want to follow along for the ride, as we prospect, invest, and sell wrestling cards. All right, TikTok purple and TikTok blue. So we'll talk about TikTok blue first. We're going to go for 500. I think we're about 300 over there. Now, I'm not really going hard on this page because it's more so the business strategy page that I have for the clothing that I design. Now, for those of you who don't know, we have a bunch of Manic Actz shirts. You can go to manic-actz.printify.me and you can get you one. They don't just say Manic Actz on it. There is a bunch of different designs that we worked on over the last year. So definitely go check yourself out one of those. We appreciate any visit to that site. Traffic has picked up in the last 2 months, and we are going to be putting out a lot of new stuff here in January. All right. TikTok purple is going to be 1,000. Now, you can also go to the TikTok blue octopus. That's Manic _Actz. And you can grab yourself a t-shirt from there as well. TikTok purple is going to be 1,000 followers. Now we are at 67. Now, mind you, this is another heavy goal, but what we've seen in the last 2 months, the content that we'll be putting out next year, and this page I just started about 2 months ago, and I really didn't do anything with it except pictures. And I think next year we're going to be diving into a lot of different content on there. Instagram, I think we're at about 300, and I did go to another extreme goal at 2,000. Now, here's where that's stemming from. Over the last 2 weeks, we've gained about 100 followers, and the content that we're pushing out, and we're getting to 30,000, 50,000, 90,000 in the last 30 days. And I think that's where we're going to get our follower count from. Now, mind you, you got to think in the days of interest media that we may not get these followers, but the interest may be there to where we can gain some, one person from one platform to another, which will kind of even out what we were trying to do. All right. And then whatnot. Right now, I think we're at about 4,000 followers. Now, I see live selling as it picks up over the next year, being one of those things that people continue to jump onto. I see wrestling cards growing. I see multiple big wrestling products coming out next year. And depending on what we're going to do as a channel, that's where we're going to get that from. Now, we still have an announcement in the side wins that'll be coming out here probably next week. where you guys are going to see something that really is going to give a little bit better perspective into what we're doing. But that's why, I'm not going to like 8,000 or 12,000. Like 2,000 is fine. We grew it to 4,000 followers this year. We had 1,000 at the end of last year. So, all right. All right. So next up is going to be sales. Now, sales are going to be a little bit different. Um, and we are going to pop that into the white. All right. And let's increase the font to 36. 36 works. All right. Now, here's where we're going to be on sales. So this year, I think we did $44,000 on Whatnot. And you may be like, Daniel, that's only $1,000 increase. If you increased your business by, I think we did $3,000 last year. We did 44 this year. If you increase your business by 41 or $43,000 or whatever, $41,000, then why wouldn't you, try to go a little bit harder? Now, mind you, I had a very good year with certain things. Those things in the aspect of it are going to go away, and we're going to put them in another basket, which you'll see down at the very end. And I'll tell you that one's really low. So in Whatnot, singles, card streams, and the streams that we do, so however we're selling stuff, whether it's, slab inventory, pack inventory, card inventory, whatever that is, we want to do $45,000 in sales. Now, we did 44. I think we ended the year because our last stream was the other day. We ended with like 44,000 something the other day. Now that killed it. It was, I could have said I thought I was going to do 8,000 this year, and we ended up doing 44,000. My average sale was $3.76, guys. So think about how many sales that is. What we want to do with this 45,000 is we want to raise the average sale up to about $12 to $15 in average sale, and then be able to play off that. So we're going to be looking at better inventory, better options, going in. We're still going to grind and have those low $1, $2, $3 sales, but that's kind of where we're going to be. All right. So next is going to be eBay, and you guys might be thinking that's a little low. I am reducing that down from I think we did about 10 this year on eBay. A lot of it wasn't cards. A lot of it, especially at the beginning of the year, some things were cards, like we sold a CM Punk PSA 10 auto, Roxanne Perez PSA 10 auto. All those sold for pretty good money on here. Probably equaling to about half, all the cards probably equal to about half. But we sell a lot of other stuff on eBay, so we left that goal in there. We did reduce it down because we did move from card inventory from eBay to Whatnot, just as a strategic move. Now, consignments, I put that pretty low. Now, there's been some inventory sitting on my eBay page for a while, and a bunch of baseball autos that I think it's just time to get rid of and put that into, some of the wrestling stuff. So we're going to send a big old lot to DC Sports 87. I think the whole lot is actually going to be more than $800, but I don't intend on like going in on baseball that much more this year. Maybe a little Bowman, Topps Chrome. We kind of failed on that one this year. We bought a lot and it just didn't end up playing out, but it's okay. We ended up breaking even, I think, on the case. So next is going to be breaks, and like I said, that's the big announcement that we have. But here's what I'm going to tell you about breaks. Breaks is going to be complete revenue in. With no revenue out. And if you guys can, put the paint on the wall, you can kind of see where we're going with that. But, that'll be coming out next week. I think it's going to be a great move for wrestling cards and everything like that. So hopefully it works out. If not, then we shift the breaks into our Whatnot streams, and I probably end up doing like 55 or so, depending on what we end up doing. But, I'm not going to let up on this for sure. And then our last platform is going to be District. So dibdickcards.com is usually where we sell. So we sell a lot of baseball, football, basketball lots on there. And, we're doing 1,000 card show a month. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in December. We'll see. But we ended up with about $1,400 in sales on District. So not bad. I do see like some of the things that we could do better over there. Consistency helps, but when I can take wrestling cards to Whatnot and make double what I'm making off District because of how we're selling them. It is what it is. But if we're going to have a lot of buy it nows and set prices, then that may be where our marketplace ends up being. Some of the things that we've been putting to the side, kind of collecting, you'll see our breaker collection, our taker collection. We have a few things that are going in here soon. So we're going to get all those things like tightened up, but those are going to be where we're going to excel the most. And all this District money. So what I want everybody to think is like, there's probably not a lot of new inventory that I'm going to be buying to sell on District. This is all stuff that I've had. And like I said, I sell it as lots, 10, 15, 10, 6, 5 card lots. All this money that I got from District this year, I ended up using for supplies. So every dollar I made on District, I put into supplies. And that's why, I'm sitting on a pretty good amount of top loaders. I'm sitting on a pretty good amount of penny sleeves. I'm sitting on a pretty good amount of bubble mailers because the money that I got from District, I would take and I would put right back into supplies. And I wouldn't even think like anything that I sell on there, just ready for supplies. So a couple other things, stats or whatever that we were going to look into is we bought a PSA account. And the reason I did it is honestly, I thought that it was a little bit cheaper to grade. It is when you're grading through them the entire time, but I was using GameStop, and GameStop is the same price. I do get the magazine, so I think that's pretty cool. I think you have chances at like one-on-ones and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be kind of cool. Get some reading in and things like that. Maybe do a little bit on the Patreon about it. There is special deals throughout the year for memberships. And I did get the one with Card Ladder. So I didn't have Card Ladder before. So now I have Card Ladder. So we're going to be using that quite a bit. This year's goal for a few things that aren't on this sheet, we want to go to 12 card shows. So that's a card show a month. I think I went to 2 this year, maybe 3. We want to visit our LCS a little bit more for singles. Now, if you guys know anything about wrestling singles, right? You don't find them a lot at the LCS. If you do, they're priced pretty fair. And if LCS is, sometimes do, sometimes don't, work with you. But we're going to be buying a lot on Whatnot. But the biggest stream of revenue that we're going to try to do our increase of is our money in grading. Now, mind you, I have... and because we use GameStop, it's multiples. I think we have like 12 subs out right now. A couple K in grading. So we're going to increase because of the membership and everything, we're going to increase our output to an average of 20 cards a month. That's what we want. We want to, once we get some of these subs back, it'll be easy, but until we get them back, it's the money's tied up. But we want to increase it to about 20 subs. Now that comes with having singles ready and available, and singles that make sense. So, let's just talk about this card. So this is a Honky Tonk Man out of 5. Right, select out of 5. We just picked this up on a recent Whatnot stream for a pretty good price. Maybe we overpaid, maybe we underpaid. I don't know. But we're not going to grade that one. So having that card in our inventory that we're not keeping, it's not an investment card. We just don't know exactly what we want to do with it yet. We're going to put it in a single stream and see what it goes for. Started at $1 and then potentially lose out because of the stream that I bought it on was obviously a more healthy stream than mine. But sometimes I will go in on cards and like this, you win some, you lose some, you may even out at the end of the year. But when I have the funds, because I know I can put it up and I can get a healthy amount, maybe not the most or the what I spent, but I can get a healthy amount of people to pay for this card in a stream. This will attract people into the stream, and then I can sell a card that I may have bought for less and sell it for more, and then even out on my card cost. So I think that we definitely see an uptick in what we're going to be doing, but the grading is going to be extreme this year for sure. And I'm cautious on how much I grade at one time because of how much money I put out into it. But where are they? Right here. These are all ready to go. These are all ready to go. This is about 110 cards. Now, mind you, I don't just use PSA. And next year, we're going to be doing a video about silver rookie brawn breakers. We're going to send a sub to every major grader that's out there and see what our silver